Welcome back to the ongoing series where I recreate Sonic the Hedgehog games using plastic bricks. We're 2 videos deep and we have many more games to cover, so let's see which one we'll be transforming today. Ah yes, Sonic Adventure 2. I mean, you already knew that from reading the title. Sonic Adventure 2 came out in 2001 and introduced the world to everyone's favorite gaming PC hedgehog, Shadow. We already built his spin-off game, but a lot of you guys suggested we tackle his debut game next, so let's do this.
Can't catch me, I'm the fastest thing alive. You're a beta male, Sonic.
Also, this video is a collaboration with Brickspiration yet again, so check them out in the description below. While I have played this game, I've never owned it. Granted, it came out before I was born. We'll be using gameplay from FC playthroughs as reference material. His channel is in the description below. Also, consider subscribing and commenting what Sonic game I should build next. As of now, Sonic Frontiers is the most requested game, but there are plenty more to choose from. I decided on recreating the first level, City Escape, which features a huge gun truck chasing our hedgehog through the city streets. Building the truck is what I'm most scared of. I don't build vehicles very often, so let's maybe save that for last. I started by setting up a bunch of plates to build the road and city on. I plan on using similar techniques as my last Sonic build for the road, but with some upgrades, and you'll see how in a bit. This one was tougher because not only is it bigger, but my Shadow build is still put together and I'm running out of black tiles. I did cheat a little bit using different colored tiles on spots that I knew weren't going to be seen. The road will be split into 3 sections, but one of them will sit at an incline to recreate the massive hills that Sonic tumbles down. Right now I'm just holding it up with a plastic bin, but for a more permanent solution I'll be using mixel ball joints that connect to Technic bricks and then they feed over to the base of the build. It's not that sturdy, but it does the job rather nicely and it gets the unevenness that I'm going for across. Here's where we're at right now. I've added a taxi build and Zeus's truck that I still have together for some reason. In the gameplay you can see strips of grass lining the road with a few trees sprinkled about. I'm using green cheese slopes to get this across with a few of the new green cheese slopes to give it more character. As for the trees, I've always loved the design featured in the Sanctum Sanctorum LEGO set. The dark tan branches look amazing, but I don't think it's as lush as we need it to be, so I'll be adding more branches and then brightening up the color palette to bring it a bit closer to the video game counterpart. And here's what we ended up with. I quite like it. The next thing we must tackle is the surrounding city. I'm not sure what architect designed this mess of a city. There's no doors, and you can see foundational walls that are built way higher than they should be. I mean, this guy probably has to bring a ladder just to get into his apartment. Whoever designed this probably helped with the non-existent windows present in the DuckTales money bin. Y'all are making my job way harder than it needs to be. I am building a foundation of black bricks with several different shelves to place the buildings on as the road gets higher and higher. I'm steering a little off script to what color each building is, just so I can have more of a variety in the color palettes rather than all this white, gray, and tan the game has. Turning this build around, I've got 4 2x2 columns to hold up the 3rd segment of the road, and you can see it's just laying on its side, being held in place by a single mixel ball joint. I had a lot of fun designing the city. We've got 2 buildings so far, and I really like this white one here. It's using this interesting sloped 1x1 brick that I never thought I'd find a use for, but it gives the columns on the building a great texture. Earlier in the video, I noted that I was nervous to build the truck, but let's bite the bullet and try my hand at it. This is the first version of it, and while it isn't bad, there is a few things I want to tweak as we go. One of those things is creating a segment of the trailer. I'm not going to include the full thing because that would make this build way bigger and create a lot of dead space in the city, but I still want to get the sheer size of the truck across, and so I've built a 2-stud wide segment to place behind the truck build. Here's the 3rd building in our city, and I like the depth of this one. The windows especially look nice, and I'm also including some flower pots to give it even more color variety. The 4th building was a little tough since it's angled to follow the road, but I got to use dark blue, which is a rarity for me. Now we're in the home stretch, and the only thing left to do is cover up this hole made from the sloped road segment. I opted for building a simple snot wall that utilizes these curved slopes to fill in as much space as possible. I really like how this technique looks and will definitely use it more again. and those of you that follow me on Instagram know exactly what I'm talking about. At this point, I thought it was done, but when I went to pick up the build and record the final footage, I realized how fragile the base was in the center, so I took everything apart and added a variety of plates and tiles to try to give it a little more strength. True, this build isn't meant for play, but I'm going to be moving it around for the remainder of the video, and I don't feel like it falling apart on me. For the finishing touch, I'm going to add this knockoff Big the Cat minifigure that I bought, and we can take one final look at the build. I love how this build came together. This game provided a great challenge to tackle. I especially like how the road looks. The Shadow the Hedgehog build included a similar technique, but I feel like it's evolved in a way that's interesting to look at. Sonic Adventure 2 has such an interesting game mechanic. I watched through most of the game and it makes me wish I had the opportunity to own it in my youth. Eventually we'll get to the games that I've lived and breathed, you know, like Sonic Mania or Sonic 4, but giving myself a scenario where I can grow my love and appreciation for Sonic's game library is always fun. The city line looks awesome too. Again, this build feels like an evolution of my previous Sonic build in all the right ways. I got to use some unique pieces and colors, my favorite being the white building, but all of them have something interesting to look at. The first one has these sand blue windows and this weird orange that I can never remember the name of, and then the third building has the windows with this sloped black window element and a light gray lining to give it some more depth and detail. The final one is built at an angle like I mentioned, but I think it does a great job of rounding out this part of our building. The grass patches give this build the right amount of plant life. I love these trees so much. Their bright colors and lush shape just look so lovely. Plus, the dark gray sidewalk uses these modified 1x2 bricks, which gives it some awesome texturing. Finally, we come to the gun truck, which, despite my hesitation, turned out pretty solid. I was saved by looking at other mock builders' interpretation of trucks and then adapting it to my own style of building. In later versions of the gun truck and Sonic lore, it has all these weird moving buzzsaws and weaponry to try to capture the fastest thing alive. Maybe my YouTube journey will take me there later down the line. I'm fearful of that point, but at least I'll be able to use these elements from Ultra Agents and Ninjago. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Thanks for watching all the way to this point. If you're still here, comment what game I should build next. As I mentioned, Sonic Frontiers is next on my list, but I want to build Sonic and Mario at the Olympics at some point because that's such a weird, interesting game. Well, that's all I got for you today. See ya!